Hey, what's up everybody? Cody and Zach from Detroit Speed here. Today we're going to take a look at all the updates here in the shop. We've got Simon's Chevelle, which is about to go into the paint booth. We've got a lot of fab updates on Roger's Mustang. We also have a new project in the shop that we're getting ready to start some fab work on, Bryan's 1969 Chevrolet Camaro. So let's get into it. All right, Zach, so I see Simon Chevelle does not have a chassis under it anymore, so where are we at with this and how much further do we have to go, you think?
So we're kind of in the home stretch as far as the paint preparation goes. As of right now, the car is pretty much all final blocked. We got a couple of edges that we need to sand, and then we'll go through, we'll get some primer on the firewall. We just got done body working it, and then after that, we're gonna get it bolted to the rotisserie today, and we will do the bottom and get all the undercoating and seam sealing and all that stuff all done. So there's certain details that we like focusing on throughout the bodywork process, and one of those things is just making sure that all the body lines are nice and straight, nice and crisp. We dig some of that masking tape out from Norton, tape the lines, use guide coat, and just make sure they're all nice and fluid throughout the car when it's all bolted together. And then all of our seams as well, quarter to rocker, the rear filler to the top of the quarter panel, those are all just crispened up, cleaned up, just a little bit nicer than what factory is, but they're still represented. We generally don't weld those up, just like that little bit of factory detail.
Yeah, I mean, factory quality control back in the 60s and 70s was little to non-existent. So just, making sure a lot of the stuff is just, brought into more of a modern design and style, and just, giving it the sleekness that these cars deserve it's the small details that really matter with this stuff.
Exactly, and it's all about doing a better job than factory, but also not ruining the original shape and design. So we sharpen up the lines, but we try to keep all the rolls and the contours and stuff that the cars would have had. There's a lot more going on in a 70 Chevelle than what most people realize, and you'll see that a lot more once you get the color on it.
Yeah, this is also a very big car, so there's a lot of
real estate.
Yeah.
So this is going to be Audi Azores Green. Of course, we're getting all of our paint from PPG. Just made that order the other day, actually. So we got all of our sealer and base coat and clear, so we're pretty much ready to rock. So we'll get all that stuff through our Sada guns and get some color on it here soon. So next time you see it, it's going to be green.
All right, so here is the chassis for Simon Chevelle. Now, of course, this has our Detroit Speed X-Gen up front. This is the 595?
Yes, yeah, so it's our X-Gen 595 front suspension module. Essentially, the 595 is our universal kind of front suspension kit. So this is the one that you'll use to graft into the car. This one has been, grafted into the original frame rails on the back, and then we used the frame horns in the front so that we had all of the stock bumper mounting provisions and all that stuff. But the 595 is going to have all of the same chassis technology that we have in like our Camaro subframes, just in a more universal piece.
Right, yeah, so that includes rack and pinion, two-wheeler upper and lower control arms, coilover shocks from JRI, aluminum uprights. I mean, this is the best you can get and the closest you can get to a modern setup.
Absolutely, and the best thing about it is you keep a lot of, it's a bit of fab work, but you keep all of your original body mount locations, which is really important for some of these full frame cars like the Chevelle or the GTO that we did for Kevin. It uses the 595 as well, and it just, it makes your body mounting easy when you're not trying to adapt an aftermarket chassis. You're just building off of what GM gave you, so right. It's a good option, and it's not GM only. I mean, you can use this for even unibody cars and build a custom front stub.
Yeah, and while we do specialize in a lot of Chevy and Ford components, I have seen quite a few people use the X-Gen stuff in Mopar applications. Yep. So it's a great kit for any platform. Exactly. AMC, Mopar, Chevy, Ford, anything.
Yep.
So while we're on the topic of Detroit Speed products, did you know that we offer local pickup? You can call into our sales team, place your order, and then once it's ready, we'll let you know, and you can come pick it up from our facility right here in Mooresville, North Carolina.
So to match the front and the rear, we did a little bit more of a custom setup on this car. This has had new rear frame rails grafted in as well. It's not something we generally do in the public, but we do sell a universal quadrillink kit. So this uses our Ford 9-inch housing with another C6 floater flange on the ends. And it's our basic quadrillink setup with all of our swivel link technology and everything. So it's just proven to work, and again, you can buy it as a universal kit, put it into a vehicle like this if we don't make a kit for it, and that's what we did here. We just changed some things up due to the performance of this car. So the front tire size on this thing is bigger than some people's back tires, or 295s, but in the back we got 345/30 Michelins and a set of beautiful Forge Line wheels. So we love Forge Line. We've had a great relationship with them, and we used them on this one as well. So this is the wheel that will be on the car when it's completely finished, and then of course, you know, nice sticky Michelin tires. So.
All right, so we haven't talked about Rogers Mustang in a few months. So where are we at with this one, Zach?
So we're pretty much in the end stages of fabrication at this point. The last time that you guys saw this car, Curtis was showing you some of the 3D printed emblems and body yaps and all that stuff. He's been hard at work again on the front. So now we have what he was teasing about before. We got this really cool front grille with the more modern hex pattern in it. It's more reminiscent of some of the newer cars, the newer Mustangs, so it's just an updated look. And then we went ahead and we made a lower grille to match and kind of used some Shelby inspiration for the lower valence. And then Curtis went ahead and he fabricated this really cool aluminum chin spoiler. Really aggressive, but fits kind of that vintage motorsports theme that we're going for on this car. And then of course, you know, you got all your trim fit, your Holley retro brights. I mean, so the front end of this thing is pretty well finished at this point. I would say fab work on this car is about 95% done. So while we're here, kind of updating everybody, we'll go through a couple more details we finished up on Roger's car here. Bruce got the power steering reservoir mounted. We got a lot of the detailed parts of the engine bay all finished up. The plumbing is really mostly done as well. So when we get back in the final assembly, you know, everything is pretty much ready to go. Just clean it up, paint it, and put it on. You got these really neat cast aluminum coil covers, and they're more reminiscent of the old overhead cam Ford engines. So it just kind of gives it a little bit more of an old look. You know, a lot of people, sometimes it's tough to dress up these modern engines, and those are just a great touch, along with the Holley low rise, which fits under the stock hood. So that's pretty much it for the engine bay. We got some more just kind of mock-up happening in the rear interior portion of the car. We went ahead, we fit all of the numerous plastic interior panels that all these Mustangs came with, because eventually they are going to need to be refinished and painted. So we're just kind of confirming that fitment is close before we get this car into the body shop. And that's kind of the next step. You know, once we final fit the trim and a couple more little things, we'll tear it down, get it sent to media blast, and then it's the next one to go into the body shop. So once the Chevelle is painted and in assembly, this one's gonna follow it right through. So behind me, we got the new project. So this is Bryan's 1969 Camaro. And of course, it's gonna get the full catalog of DSC components, including our bread and butter, which is the front subframe. That's always kind of just been the staple here at DSC, so it's gotta go in it. So subframe, quadrillink, subframe connectors, the whole thing. Super excited to do this car for Bryan. We got some really good renderings from Eric Brockmeyer. We're really pumped about this project. So yeah, the car recently came back from media blasting, and at this point we are just kind of getting started on the fabrication process. This is as bare bones as you'll see one of the cars here at Detroit Speed. Bruce went ahead and a little bit of downtime. He shaved the original cowl vents. The vintage air doesn't use the fresh air from the cowl anymore, so generally we get rid of them, gives the car a little bit smoother of a look. So he went ahead and he knocked that out. But as for the car itself, we are getting ready to do some structural damage repair / rust repair in the back. It did have some old body damage that we found when the car arrived. So right now we're working on a plan to work through that. Got it set up here on the chassis plate, made sure that the frame rails themselves are square, which they are. So really it's just cosmetic. It's a lot of cosmetic, you know, rust work and just old, poorly done repair. So this thing will get quite a bit of new sheet metal, new quarters, trunk floor, roof skin, just to make everything nice and straight again and give us a really good platform to build the rest of the car off of. So that'll all happen first, and then all of our goodies will go in after. So got to repair the base, and then all the fun stuff can happen. So we got a little bit of dirty work and some grinding to do, but it's not going to stop us from being excited.
Yeah.
That is our bolt-in narrowed quadrillink housing for the first gen Camaro.
Yeah, this is a product that we sell. You can order these online and come and pick them up right here.
And then we offer, you know, either a Ford 9-inch or our FN 988 center section, depending on your application or what you intend to use the car for. So we got different options there too. A bunch of ratios. I mean, It's a good universal part for the DSE builds. For the power level of this car, and being that it is a road car, we want the rear gear to be a little bit quieter, and just, you know, overall the drivetrain to be a little smoother. We are going to put an FN988 in this one.
And that FN988, what it is, it's a 9-inch center section, but it's encased with 4 8.8 ring and pinions. So it actually raises the pinion angle. It's a little bit quieter. So it's just overall, it is a little bit better package than the tried and true 9-inch. There's nothing wrong with the 9-inch.
No, not at all.
It's still a great gear, but it's, for how much work we're putting in this, we just want to make sure that the car is as quiet as possible.
Exactly. I mean, this car is kind of going to be closer to what original DSE Camaros were, right? So it's a really cool street car, modern suspension, modern driveline. You can go out, thrash it out in an autocross course, but it's also going to be really, really street mannered and just be a great driving car down the highway. So nice and quiet, comfortable, you know, the whole deal.
All right, so that's it for this month's Project Update vlog. Don't forget to like and follow Detroit Speed on social media. And if you have any questions about Detroit Speed's products, you can send us an email at sales@detroitspeed.com or give us a call at 704-662-3272. Thank you, Zach, as always, and we'll see you on the next one.